Everyone called Adam lazy. His teachers said he had potential, but no discipline. His friends joked that he was always tired. Even his father would shake his head and say, "You'll never survive the real world if you keep avoiding work." But nobody knew the truth. Adam wasn't lazy. He was terrified of failing. Every morning, he woke up with a heavy feeling in his chest. He would stare at his books, laptop, and unfinished goals for hours. He wanted to start. He really did. He dreamed about success constantly. He imagined becoming financially independent, making his parents proud, and proving everyone wrong. But the moment he tried to begin, fear took over his mind. What if he tried his hardest and still failed? What if people laughed at him? What if he discovered he wasn't talented enough? So instead of trying, he distracted himself. Endless scrolling, random videos, sleeping too much, pretending he didn't care. Because if he never truly tried, then failure couldn't hurt him. One evening, Adam overheard his younger brother talking to their mother in the kitchen. "Why is Adam always wasting time?" he asked innocently. Their mother sighed softly and said, "I think he's lost." That sentence hit Adam harder than any insult ever had. Lost? Not lazy. Not useless, just lost. He locked himself in his room that night and stared at the ceiling for hours. Deep inside, he knew exactly what was happening. He had spent years protecting himself from embarrassment by never giving his full effort. It felt safer to quit before starting than to fail after trying. The next morning, Adam opened an old notebook hidden in his drawer. Inside were dreams he wrote years ago. Start a business, learn video editing, travel the world, build a better life for his family. He smiled sadly because almost every dream was unfinished. Some had only one page of notes before being abandoned. He realized a painful pattern. Every time something became difficult, he disappeared from it, not because he hated hard work, but because he feared discovering his limits. Days passed, and nothing changed. Adam still avoided work, but now he couldn't escape the truth anymore. Fear was controlling his entire life. One night, while scrolling online, he came across a quote that stopped him instantly. "The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever." He read it again and again. For the first time, he imagined himself 10 years older, still making excuses, still hiding from opportunities, still pretending he could have succeeded if he wanted. That image scared him more than failure itself. The next morning, Adam decided to test something small. Instead of planning his entire future, he worked for just 10 minutes. Only 10. No pressure. No expectations. He opened his laptop and practiced video editing tutorials. His hands shook at first. His brain kept whispering, "You're not good enough." But he continued anyway. 10 minutes became 30. 30 became an hour. For the first time in years, he felt proud of himself. Not because he achieved something huge, but because he finally moved despite fear. The following weeks were messy. Some days he worked hard. Other days he disappeared into old habits again. Fear didn't vanish magically. Sometimes he still stared at blank screens for hours. Sometimes he convinced himself success was impossible. But now he understood something important. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is acting while fear screams inside your head slowly. Tiny improvements started changing his life. He posted his first edited video online. It only got 23 views. A year ago, that would have destroyed him. But this time he smiled, because those 23 views represented something bigger. He had finally stopped hiding. He made another video, then another. He learned from mistakes instead of running from them. Months later, one of his videos unexpectedly went viral. Thousands of people shared it. Comments flooded in praising his creativity and storytelling. His phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Adam sat silently staring at the screen, almost emotional, not because he became famous overnight, but because nobody knew how much fear he had fought just to press upload. One evening, his father entered his room quietly. He looked around at the editing setup, notebooks, and project plans scattered everywhere. Then he said something Adam never expected to hear. "I'm proud of you." Adam looked down quickly because his eyes filled with tears. For years, he thought success would remove fear forever. But he finally understood the real victory wasn't becoming successful. The real victory was no longer letting fear decide his future. As time passed, Adam became more confident. Not perfect, not fearless, just stronger. He learned that failure wasn't the enemy. Regret was. Every successful person he admired had failed hundreds of times. The difference was they kept moving. They didn't wait to feel confident before taking action. One day, Adam received a message from a stranger online. "Your videos inspired me," it said. "I thought I was lazy too. but now I realize I'm just scared. Adam stared at the message for a long time, because those words described the person he used to be. That night, he opened his window and looked at the city lights outside. Life suddenly felt different. The world hadn't changed. He had. He finally understood that most people aren't trapped by lack of talent. They're trapped by fear disguised as comfort. Fear tells you to wait. Fear tells you to avoid risk. Fear tells you to stay invisible. But hidden potential means nothing if it never meets action. Adam still gets scared sometimes. Before every new project. Before every big opportunity. But now, instead of running, he reminds himself of one simple truth. Failing after trying hurts far less than spending your whole life wondering what could have happened. And maybe that's the saddest part about fear. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers so quietly that people mistake it for laziness. But deep down, they know the truth.